All residents must remain indoors until the voluntary quarantine has been lifted. Alert Phase 5 pandemic has not been lifted. Alert. State of emergency remains in place.
So it's time once again to ante up on veiled threats from angst-filled elites. Bill Gates was speaking at a security conference in Europe where, by the way, they're doing all kinds of creepy stuff in the backlash to immigration and terrorism and just the rise of hysteria throughout the whole region. And he talked about how health threats are now interlaced with security threats because the terrorists of tomorrow are going to be using genetic engineering technology and computers to create synthetic viruses.
We also face a new threat that the next epidemic has a good chance of originating on a computer screen of a terrorist intent on using genetic engineering to create a synthetic version of the smallpox virus or a contagious and highly deadly strain of flu.
And he paints a very grim and dark picture of what would happen if a respiratory spread pathogen were to basically hit a population, and he explains how it would kill 30 million people in just 1 year.
Whether it occurs by the quirk of nature or at the hand of a terrorist, epidemiologists show through their models that a respiratory spread pathogen would kill more than 30 million people in less than a year. And there is a reasonable probability of that taking place.
And the thing that makes this such a disturbing scenario is the words he used, the hints he makes that, well, it could be a quirk of nature or it could be a terror attack. You just never know. When behind it all, there's a mentality and an organization that wants to reduce the population and that relies on fear to control political events. And while ostensibly this is a security issue to be prevented, what makes this creepy statement even more diabolical is the fact that Bill Gates is the very one who's made these veiled statements before about vaccines lowering the population by 10 or 15%.
The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The disease itself can also be spread by the vaccines because there's blowback, there's resistance, and there's a triggering of autoimmune effects that has the possibility of spreading a viral mutation that no one is going to be prepared for. That's the kind of thing that Bill Gates is talking about. He's in a class of people who've called for a population reduction. He's in a class of people that use shocks and tremors and events in media to make world events happen and to dictate from the top down. There was a professor at Arizona State University that joked about the movie Contagion and said people should go out and create better viruses using genetic engineering to help with overpopulation. He actually joked about the very act of terrorism that Bill Gates is warning about in this clip.
Should we concern ourselves with feeding 8+ billion in the first place, or should we allow natural forces of carrying capacity?
Has anybody seen Contagion? Yeah, that's the answer. Go out and use genetic engineering to create a better virus. I mean, 25% of the world population is supposed to go and contain.
There's a mentality among the people pushing these things, testing them in labs, developing them, and this is the new threat. Genetic engineering and synthetic viruses are going to come into play, and that the technology is now basically in many, many hands. It's spread out, the threat's diffuse, and it could come from anywhere. The 2009 swine flu pandemic was a huge test to see how the population would react to basically a strain of the swine flu that could only have been engineered and artificially mutated into what ended up being released. And to top that all off, while you had just fear-gripping headlines and just people on the verge of panic, not knowing what to do, you had a whistleblower come forward to expose the fact that World Health Organization officials had been colluding with vaccine makers and talking about wanting to have a level level 5 pandemic and wanting to have a big public anxiety about it so they could drive vaccine cells, the swine flu, and for many other potential pathogens. And this outbreak could be any number of things. He's talking about a really deadly, easily spread, artificially created flu, bird flu, swine flu, any other strain, or he's talking about a new synthetic smallpox. The labs have the archives of the naturally occurring smallpox, which has been officially wiped out in the world, and now they have the next generation sitting on the shelf, waiting for accidents to happen and waiting for malintent.
For maximum safety, and to prevent the spread of the virus, please comply with health authorities during routine vaccination and physical inspections. Remember, a healthy tomorrow depends upon your cooperation and compliance. Be well.